Welcome back to the channel, Neil Donaldson's Lotus Excel restoration. Yeah, I'm not long back off my holidays now from when I had a very enjoyable trip on the motorcycle down to, the destination was Malta where my father lives. But obviously went down through the Alps and all the way through Italy, as far down as Napoli, when I got a ferry over to Palermo in Sicily. Yeah, check out those videos if you're interested in that kind of stuff. There's some very interesting scenery and a couple of interesting places I visited along the way. Obviously, it's not in the playlist, the Excel restoration playlist. Yeah, now that I'm back, then obviously it's time now to get on with the job of restoring the Lotus. In this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the interior fan, so the blower, and strip it down into all its various components and restore any components that need to be restored. Check the electric motor, obviously. Maybe replace some foam bits and stuff in the blower itself. Check the mechanisms. Yeah, put it back together, and yeah, put it back in the car. So there's no time like the present, as they say. Then let's get on with it. I'm going to attempt to remove the blower, and it seems to be held on by one bolt here, plus obviously the cable here. There's a tie rod that's connecting the blower to the heater element there, and it looks like there's a screw, sort of a nut, then a screw that's holding it in there as well. I wonder if we'll be able to remove that too. But let me try and remove those screws first and see where that gets us. I did forget to mention there's a screw here as well, bolt, or a nut I should say. I don't think there's any more, but I'll get under and have a look. Actually, you can't release that nut from there. You actually have to do it, I think, under the bonnet. And if I'm not mistaken, it's that screw I've got to release there, so I'll do that now. So I've removed the blower, and as you can see it's a bit crusty. Yeah, so I'm going to replace all this foam bits here, and I'll take it in, try and take it apart and clean it up a little bit. I've just removed these three screws here, 1, 2, 3. And now I guess it's time to move these clips now and see if I can, yeah, get this cover off. So yeah, let's have a look. Yeah, a flat blade screwdriver seems to be the best method of removing those. Like so, pretty easy. Yep, that comes apart. I think I'll try and remove the mechanism now, try and get this bit out, which operates like that. It seems to be held in by a pin here. I'm not sure if it's going to be easy to tap that out, but I guess we could try. We're going to see what we can do. Yeah, the flap seems to be held in by 2 screws, sort of, I don't know if you can see that very well, but 1, 2, and I would imagine if I release those, then the pin itself should fall out, but let me try that. So I've just cut out a piece of foam, 2 pieces actually, to glue onto this flat plate.
Load disconnected, so now we're going to connect. There's 1. There's 1. There's 2. Oh look. $500, which is very cheap because there's other systems out there.
There we go. Another piece similar to that.
They're about $1,500. But just by getting the components separately and standing on Sean's bench.
Yeah, in terms of the electric motor, I've checked the brushes and there's still plenty of life in them. I did have to replace one of the springs for the brushes because it completely perished. There was little bits of less than, there's a little bit of the spring left inside there, but it completely perished, corroded. I also greased slightly the cap. I cleaned up this cap as well here, which was full of rust, and just put a blob of grease in the centre bit there. That's the only thing I've done in the motor itself. It was working beforehand, so I expect, well, I'll test it when I assemble it, but yeah, just to make sure it's still working. Oh, just one thing to point out when you're reassembling it, is that this sort of pipe bit, that needs to go kind of over one of the mounting holes there. Just so you know, I actually had them the opposite way around at first, which was the incorrect way to set it up. Yeah, the reason for this pipe has got to fit, obviously, onto that end bit there. I've cleaned up most of that bit as well there. As you can see, I've sprayed that ugly bit of metal that was hanging off there. So, and I've also cleaned up the flap, but that's been painted, so I'll just have to wait for it to dry before I can start completely reassembly. But we're getting there. Took me a short while to work out how this went back together. Just remember there's a plastic piece that goes in there. Yeah, and that, and it should sort of, the flap should sort of then open and close like that, as it does. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing too difficult other than that to put it back together. Screws in there, clips, and then the blower motor. I'm just going to screw that in now. So that's the blower installed pretty much in place. I've also tested the recircling functionality. I don't know if I can operate it with one hand, but let me just try it. Hang on, I need to maybe put the camera down, but yeah, as you can see it opens. Well, you probably can't see it particularly well there, but yeah, and closes, so that's how it should operate. Yeah, some connections still to work out a little bit, but we'll get round to that. Yeah, just before I conclude this video, I just wanted to show some of the connections. Obviously you've got the main connector here. That's pretty self-explanatory. You've got another connector here, which, again, please someone correct me if I'm wrong here, but I don't think that's, if you haven't got an air conditioner fitted in your car, I don't think that's connected to anywhere. So as you can see, I checked the videos when I was dismantling, and it seems to be that's the case. But also underneath there's another connector, just don't forget that. I don't know if you can see it well enough there, but don't forget that one either. Yeah, and that's pretty much all the connectors to the blower. Yeah, the good news is that it's belted it down a couple of times and I don't have any water in the footwells, so that looks like progress certainly on that front. In the meantime, I'm putting this sort of bit of material in there. It's quite tricky, so I guess I'll show you the technique I use on this side to put it in on that side. With all the holes and the vents and stuff, it's quite a tricky job, but yeah, so the first thing you need obviously is a strip of material, and I measured one out there which is 160 centimeters long and 10 centimeters thick before I started. Then I started from the middle. I marked off the middle of the material and lined it up with the middle of the dashboard there and started putting in glue from the middle outwards this side, and now I'm going to start on the other end. Essentially I essentially glue it to the first hole I've got to put in, which is for the first screw, which is there, and then I'm going to put in the first hole for the screw, which is just about there. Yeah, so when I've got the first screw in, then I'm going to put it in and mark off the second screw, which is there. So I'll just get something to pierce that with. Yeah, I think I've got it. Yep. Then that's in place, and then I'll concentrate on cutting the extract there for the fan. Yeah, so now I've marked out where the vent needs to be, and I need to cut that hole in there. So now with the hole cut in place, I will proceed to start gluing it in place, and then put the actual metal bit of vent in there as well. So now I've also marked out the bits of excess there that I want to cut off there and trim it back to where it should be, or where I want it to be. So now the air vents are also screwed in place, so it's just a question of trimming off any excess. Yeah, and then it's pretty much job done related to that. Yeah, so most of the trimming bits around the dashboard there, they're in now, so I'm going to leave it at that, I think, today. And those might be a couple of minor things to sort of just perfect a little bit. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So I'll wrap up this video now. In the next video, I hope to install the dashboard plus the other upholstered pieces that I've been working on over the winter back in the car, and hopefully in the not too distant future we'll get this car back on the road and drivable again. I've not actually driven this car since September, is when I first started stripping things out, so I'm very much looking forward to it. And I'm very much looking forward to see how the new car, the car with the new stuff in, will look as well. So if you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe to the channel. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. There are future updates coming, as I say. I hope to be more intense now in terms of the frequency of the videos that I'm producing, at least until we get the next phases of the next phases of the restoration project sorted out. But anyway, that shouldn't be too long from now. Take care, and until the next.